All right, snowboarders of the internet, we're back with the third live stream for the Friday the 13th Q&A 11th anniversary edition. If you missed the two previous streams, then all you really missed in the first one was a horrible internet connection, and then the second one I said some stuff that probably offended a few people. The third one, nothing else is going to change. If anyone has any questions, just put them over in the chat. We'll go from there. This live stream is brought to you by AngrySnowboarderStore.com. We are doing a special mystery box giveaway, or not giveaway, but sale. And the mystery box contain just about tons of various gear that we've sold in the past and stuff that was never actually released on the store. So if you want Angry Snowboarder merchandise and you weren't able to get in on any of the previous sales, this is the best chance until November when we relaunch with all new product offerings. So hopefully you guys will get on that. I will be giving away a promo code in this live stream that will get you 11% off, which is like $16.50 off the price, I think is what it comes to. Anyways, let's dive into some of these questions. First one comes from Brandon Adkins. What is your preferred stance? I rock 21.5, 15, negative 12, and I am goofy. So that is what I go with. Raul Duke, round 3. Now it's Friday the 13th, part 3, the new stream. It's a Friday the 13th marathon themed because after Angry Late Night, I'm going to sit down and watch all the Friday the 13th movies that are on Amazon. So that should be fun. Elvin's son snagged the 2019 Wired Vantage on sale. Are there any differences to the 2020 model you reviewed? Just wondering how good it is in Powys. I'll be taking it to Japan. Keep up the good work. So I don't believe there's actually a change. I think it was just graphical for that with that one because I got a 2019 and a 2020 Wired Directive, and Rob told me basically there's no real differences in there. He just wanted me to have one from the earlier year to help him with sell-through, which was fine. That board actually it's got like a slight taper to it. I got it into up at Powder Mountain to like it was probably like 2 feet of fresh snow, and that thing was just fucking phenomenal. So you made a great choice with the Wired Vantage. Solid new company that many people haven't heard about yet. So great for you. Water Bottle. Smokin' Jay says you're a homie, and I now work part-time at the Smoking Factory. Jay is a homie from way back in the day. He's a character, man. Good luck working there. I think you're going to enjoy it. You'll learn some stuff with him. They make a solid product. So Will S. Hey, Averin, any difference in the wide versus regular smoking asymmetrical camber boards? Well, one's wide, one's regular. That's literally it. There's shouldn't be any construction differences in there at all. Let's see. Caden Quinn looking to pick up a 148 Rome Ravine and a surfy jib flat ground board to complement it. Any recommendations coming from a 146 Agent Mini and mostly riding Mammoth and Bear? I'm 125 pounds and a size 8. Whew, you're a tiny little guy there. If you're coming off like the Agent Mini and you're looking for something for like flat ground and jibby butters, if you're sticking with Rome, the Blackjack, Gangplank, or Artifact would be the 3 from them. Otherwise, if you want something with camber that's still playful, the DC Ply is another great option. The Ride Kink, K2 Worldwide Weapon, the Battalion Wally. Let's see what else. Capita Horoscope. You might even like. Well, no, they revamped the Yes Jackpot, so it's a little stiffer than it used to be. The GNU Hayek, the GNU Money would actually be better. Those would be ones that I would definitely look at. Super chat from Scott Border. Thanks for the $5 New Zealand. That's awesome. Stoked on that. And let's see. Christopher Wong, tell us Backslash or DST and why. Thanks. Well, they're two opposite boards. So the Backslash is short, fat, surfy that can still carve, while the DST is more like a free ride carve board. You got to kind of ask yourself, what are you looking for performance-wise from that snowboard? Grant Christopher. I just picked up a 2020 Captain Mercury and I'm hyped. A lot of sites recommend it for more advanced riders, but I am on the newer end of the spectrum. Will I still have a good time? You're going to have a fucking learning curve with that for sure, especially if you're like just figuring out how to carve and whatnot. So hopefully you're like an intermediate level rider, but otherwise that board's really great. And if you're progressing as a rider and you plan to go more, you're going to be super stoked on it. The Mercury is one of my favorite all mountain boards. Scott Border asks, hey Angry, need help, intermediate boarder, rapidly progressing, can you give your opinion on best board to get for an all mountain freestyle with US 12 feet? Was thinking K2 party platter. The party platter is more freestyle this year, just with the way that they did the changes to it. It is a volume shifted board. If you're looking for like a true twin all mountain freestyle board, I would actually push you a little bit more towards the Marhar Lumberjack X instead. If you want to go with a volume shifted board, that will easily accommodate your size 12 feet. Otherwise, boards that I think stick out are the Wire Directive, the Jones Mountain Twin, the Yes Typo, the Capita Mercury. Well, Mercury, it depends on the size, though, because you do have wider feet. Otherwise, you might like a DOA, which I think they offer a wide version in the DOA, although I'm not a huge fan of the DOA. There's the LibTech E-Jackknife. Let's see, what else? The Rosinal Jibsaw Wide comes to mind as well, or you could do the Rosinal 1LF Wide. So there's a couple options for you. Super chat from Christopher Wong, no question. Keep up the great work. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that. Chico Derguch, looking at a backslash, but I have a sushi. Should I save my money for something else? There's going to be a lot of overlap in the two. There really is. If you got both of them, I think you would be sadly disappointed in that. So, yeah, definitely probably not what you're ideally looking for. Save your money, get something else to complement your sushi, and you should be good to go. Will S. Averin, here's a secondhand wheel nut for the Volvo. Thanks for your channel. Thanks, Will. Yeah, Volvo repairs are not cheap. Not cheap at all. So, yeah, let's see what else we got here. Tanner Galambus, what bindings would work well with a sushi? I have a pair of Union Stratas that have on my daily driver, but I'd like another pair for the sushi. Well, the Strata would actually work on the sushi if you got another pair of those, just because the way it's got more lateral flex in there. Me personally, I think anything that's got a mini disc to it and that really lets you have a lot of play in it. So you could maybe do the Rome Katana, but that might be a little too stiff for you. Otherwise, anything from now or like something like the K2 Lean AT, because you can pull that heel block out of it, and it would really give you more of that lateral surfy play on the board. That's what you kind of want with one of those boards. You don't want to have like an overpowering binding that just creates a dead spot and doesn't really let it twist how you would want. So let's see. I think I just missed one. Brandon Adkins, the Rosinal Jibsaw or Jones Mountain Twin for an overall snowboard that can do it all. The Jones Mountain Twin will be more versatile than the Jibsaw. The Jibsaw HD would be closer to the Mountain Twin, although it would be stiffer, so it'd be more like the Ultra Mountain Twin. But the Jones Mountain Twin is a far more versatile board than the Jibsaw, in my opinion. Let's see. Churning Park, would Union Force bindings work well with the Super Pig? Also, what size Super Pig should I get? I'm 5'6" and weigh 110 pounds. Force would definitely work with the Super Pig, no questions asked. What's the smallest size in the Super Pig? Is it 47 or 45? I can't remember. At 110 pounds, you definitely want the smaller sized one, which I trying to remember, because I think the Super Pig actually goes with that sizing like the War Pig, where it's like extra small, small, medium, large, extra large. And I think you would want ideally the small or whatever's close to that. So I think it's like the 47 or the 45. That should work for your weight. Let's see. Bernard Kelizuk. What are your thoughts on Ryan Napton? Will you ever review a Donick snowboard? He's my neighbor. I know that much. Um, he's kind of kooky. He does kooky things and snowboards with poles. I don't know. He's convinced people that they need to have his board in order to carve, which isn't true at all. Like you can carve on just about any other snowboard out there. Will I review a Donick snowboard? Probably not. I'll just be honest. I just don't care for it. It's not something I'm going to go out and actively hunt down. Lucas Sutton, what bindings would you recommend to pair with a Super Pig for mostly all mountain charging? Oh, so you want like something to charge. So I would go with like Burton Genesis or Genesis X if you want stiffer, something from now, like maybe the Drive or the O Drive, although the O Drive might be a little too stiff. The K2 Formula, the Ride Rodeo, or maybe the Capo. I'm not sure. That might not be exact. Was it the Bent Metal? Is it the Core Pro, or it's not the Logic? It's Transfer. There's one other. No, or maybe the Transfer from Bent Metal as well. Let's see. I think those would all be solid options for you. Jay Crew with the $10 super chat. Thanks for the badass reviews. Hey, dude, I'm just here doing a thing for all you guys. Little history on how I got into reviewing and why I did it. In the early 2000s, I was working at a snowboard and ski shop called Mud, Sweat, and Gears in Ellicottville, New York, for a crazy Spaniard named Miguel. And I could tell you all sorts of crazy stories about that man in the short time that I worked there. But I ended up buying a Santa Cruz Panther ply, basically, because the rep kind of conned me into it. And it was literally just a giant hunk of shit. I think I traded it for like $100 and some cheeseburgers or something, because I'm notorious for trading snowboards for food. But I vowed on that, like after that like no one should ever just be lied to or just be suckered into off marketing and shit. And it just pissed me off. And that started a whole career of snowboard reviews. So before I did angrysnowboarder.com, I was on a few different snowboarding sites, and I was really prolific with snowboard.com and writing reviews. And so you guys get to reap the rewards of it now. And actually, way back in the day, I was pretty much the first to do the online snowboard review and open the door to getting companies to giving it. And now you've got other people doing it out there. Unfortunately, it also opened the doors to people like James from The Good Ride. So, yeah, fuck them. And, yeah. All right. Scott Border, how does the Lumberjack stack up on ice hardpack? So it has their attack arc side cut. It's proprietary to Marhar. And basically it's a tri-radial side cut, but right where the side cut blends in, you get like this little, it's a contact point right underfoot that gives it added grip. I mean, they're built for riding Michigan conditions, which Michigan does have icier conditions, so it's really designed to have that grip and that hold. I see we're up to 61 consecutive viewers in here, so for everyone that's new in here, just feel free to pop a question over there. If you haven't stopped over to angrysnowboarderstore.com yet to see the mystery boxes that we're selling, go check that out. If you would like to save 11% on your order, I have one promo code for you guys, and that is STREAM3. That will save you 11% in honor of our 11th anniversary over there. If you do decide to buy one of those mystery boxes will be jam-packed full of so much stuff for you guys. I think everyone's going to be stoked when they actually get them. So, Water Bottle, if I were to write a fan fiction of you and Kevin, would you read it in stream? Is it erotic fan fiction? Like, I'm kind of scared here. I know how the internet goes, man. That's kind of creepy. J. Crew, any backlash from the more negative reviews this year? I did have I've had a few brand managers actually reach out to me, some leaving comments actually on the reviews or the top 5 videos, and some sending me emails. By and large, I think companies realize that sometimes you got to have a negative review because you'll have another product that's super good, and I'll push that. You got to roll with the punches with me. Like, you're not going to get just roses and sunshine all the time for everything. So, yeah. Oh, this is a great question. Sam Ball Carcel. Avron with an eighth ball of Coke. How many Vail snow carnies could you fight off at once? Judging by the fact that I took on 7 Air Force Academy students at one time and I walked away and 3 of them were severely injured, I'm going to bet that I could probably take on about 25 snow carnies at one time. They're a little weak. They probably have scurvy from living off ramen and their malnourishment. And they're not in shape. I get to eat like 3 hot meals a day that are actually well balanced, and they live off ramen and tomato soup made out of ketchup packets and warm water down in the lodge. So I'm pretty sure I got them. And then if I was on cocaine, I don't think anything could take me. I mean, personally, I'd rather be on PCP because I'm not going to feel my handbrake when I punch in their faces, but I'll settle for the cocaine if that's what you want me to do. So, yeah. Brandon Adkins, do you know how many boxes have been sold yet? Yeah, so there's 6 that have sold, and there's 11 more available. Or no, 9 more available. So still plenty of merchandise left for all those mystery boxes. I'd really like to just blow out everything I've got left because November I want to bring in some new stuff, and I'm working on some other web store things as well as in there. Churning Park, do you recommend rub-on wax? If your board's feeling a little sticky, yes. Just make sure that you actually brush it and rub it down, so it's not like just chunked on the base. That's the big thing. Board through the pain. Don't try that with the Marines. The Air Force is a friggin' joke. Wouldn't try that with the Marines. Those guys know how to actually kill people. What's the Air Force going to do? Fly a drone into me? Yeah. Anyways, Joshua Stricken asks, looking to replace my 2008 Burton T6, thinking Jones 10 pounds, size 9, possibly thinking it's time for 2 boards, maybe add a DOA, super DOA, 2 thoughts. So the T6 was super stiff and lightweight. The flagship will not match that flex pattern, but if you're looking for boards to match that flex pattern, you should check out the GNU Mueller because Nicholas Mueller used to ride the T6, and then when he went to GNU, he basically just transitioned the shape and stuff to the Mueller, and that would be really close to it, or the Lidtech Swiss knife, which is Freddie Kalbermountain's Pro model. Those would match up to it. Otherwise, the Ultra flagship would be closer to the T6 than the regular flagship. But going with the 2-board route, you could go with like something a little bit stiffer, more hard charging free ride, and then give yourself that park board where that's where your DOA or super DOA would come in. Unfortunately, I don't really know too much about the super DOA. I mean, I know what it is and like theoretically how it should ride, but I haven't been on it yet. So there you go. Ryan Rowe, thanks for the honest reviews. Which board carves better, Jones flagship or Mind Expander? The flagship. The Mind Expander has so much setback and rocker in the nose with that Christensen surf rocker that you actually don't have as much engagement at the front insert pack. It sort of pushes back and there's all that nose, whereas the flagship will roll from edge to edge and transition easier because it has more of a traditional shape to it and it has that cam rocker to it, so it's not like just giving you so much setback and so much rocker in the nose. Roger Decker, I'm the same size as you, looking to replace my T-Rice Pro 161 as a daily driver in Tahoe. War Pig or Super Pig, 151 or 154? Super Pig, for sure. 54 would probably be more suited for that heavier snow. You can, if you're like about the same weight as me, which is about like 195-ish, give or take. You can kind of go either way. 51 if you want to throw around easier, 54 if you wanted to charge harder. So, James Kelly, what's good from the UK? Question, Nightmare Snowboards. Comment, the unicorn dude behind you is winking at me. Should I ask him out? He's single. You want him? You can have him. You can take, I can't remember what we, I don't know if we named him Chester or Chad. I can't remember. He's got some fucked up name, but he's single. You can take him. Nightmare Snowboards, I honestly wouldn't waste your time with them. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know if they shipped last year. They had factory issues, and I know they're moving factories to a subpar factory, in my opinion, that usually makes like other brands' price point boards. So don't get suckered in by their ripped off graphics. Joe Suda, the owner, is a tool. I fucking do not like him. Their team riders are amazing guys, and they're good people. Joe, the owner, is a pile of suck, and a lot of people do not get their product shipped to him. He's kind of a con man, so don't waste your time. Scott Border with the super chat. Okay, sold on Lumberjack X. What size do you recommend? 5'11", 175 pounds, US 12. Awesome work, Angry. I'd go with the 152. I believe it goes 152, 155, 158. Get the 152. The 152 should ride with surface area more like a 160. So get the 152. That should be what you're looking for. Raul Duke, Nightmare is a bit fly by night. Yeah, but they've been going on like 7 years now. Let's see. V West, how's the riding at Loveland Resort? Was going to get a pass there this year and take a few trips with the free passes on Powder Alliance. It's a lot of above tree line. I love going to Loveland when the conditions are right, but if it's windy and it hasn't snowed, it's a lot of ice. There's not a lot of trees for it to stick in, especially like over the crescent through the horseshoe that goes above the Eisenhower tunnels. Those are the places where it's really blown off. You can have absolutely amazing, phenomenal conditions there, or you can have just horrible, like icy, crappy conditions there. The good thing is it'll never really be actually super crowded. I mean, I've rolled in at like 10 o'clock on a powder day midweek, and I'm like third row in the parking lot. Saturdays are a different story. You get a lot of people coming up from the Front Range and Colorado Springs and stuff. It will be different this year just because I think a lot of people bought Loveland passes because they're pissed off at A Basin. So it might be a little more crowded on weekends. Yeah. Hopefully that answers that question. Michael Kulik, Avern's still kicking, not loopy yet. No, I took a nap, ate 3 tacos, an order of French fries at Happy Hour, one of my favorite restaurants in the neighborhood, Twist. If you're ever in Breckenridge, definitely go to Twist. Happy Hour starts at 4. If you're there early, you'll get a seat. If you're not, you're fucked. If you want to actually eat at the restaurant, make sure you always get a reservation. That's the only way to really guarantee that you will get a table. Let's see. Who is Orlando? I'm 5'5", weigh 195 pounds, been riding a ride kink 158 for 2 seasons. Think it's a good fit. What's your good recommendation? Size-wise, yes. It'd be a little bit big because that is a jib board. I assume you just want something that's camber and jibby. It would, I think there's other great options out there like the Interior Plane Project Haro, the Capita Outsiders. Let's see what else is out there. Trying to think what else is out there. There's the Jam by Battalion. It's got like that slight directional to it, so that might not be kind of a vague question there. Truck 78, what's your knock on VT, New Hampshire, and Maine riding? I've never ridden in VT. I've stayed there in the state, in Burlington, right behind the Burton headquarters, with Marcus's cousin one time. Driven through New Hampshire. I've ridden Sunday River, Maine. That was a really cool experience in 2002 when I was there. It's probably the biggest mountain I had been on at that point, except maybe Mount Hood. It was really cool just taking some of the runs, hitting the gaps and the hips and all the side hits on I think they have a run called like 7 Mile or something. It just like looped around everything. That was really cool. As I was there for USASA Nationals, the parks were pretty on point compared to what I was used to in New York. So I think there's good terrain there if they get good snow. The problem is it's really fucking icy there. Daniel Bunker, is the Yes Jackpot a bad choice for a one-board quiver? Will it just be god-awful through the trees? If you have to go with a park board that's a one-board quiver, that's actually a really good choice, in my opinion. It will not suck in trees. There's a lot of torsional flex to it, so it really allows you to twist and flex it how you want. It's not a bad board. It's basically like a more park-focused typo that's true twin, realistically. And the typo is a great board for all mountain. So, L Stacker Adventures, have you seen the new jacket with water in it? Are you talking about the 686 Hydro jacket? that you can store water in. I really want to see someone just like case a jump and have the goddamn thing explode on them. I just want to see it like pissing water everywhere. That thing would be hilarious to see. Let's see. Buck Choi, here's some money for beer. Keep up the good work with the super chat. I actually don't drink. Little known fact that I don't hide. I can't drink. I lost my spleen in 2002. And as a result, I have a suppressed immune system, and my body does not process liquor like it should. So it just ends up hurting my immune system and making me sicker. So I don't drink. Buck Choi, I want my money back. Whatever, man. I'll use that money for tacos. What are you worried about? So let's see. What else we got here? Jorge Morales, you looking to get your hands on any Karua boards this year? A lot of hype around them. I'm hoping I can. I've had issues getting stuff from them in the past, and I think the other thing is like James from the Good Ride ended up hoarding them, and so no one else got any last time around because he's a cocksucker. Fuck that guy. I hope he gets AIDS in his ass. But I would really like to ride them. I'm going to see about getting some. Hopefully. Who knows? Jack Ripper. I wish every Friday was Angry Live Stream Day. Makes work go by much faster. If I can quit my day job, this will become a regular weekly occurrence. If I can quit my day job, this will become a regular weekly occurrence. So working on it. We'll see. More people need to buy those mystery boxes for that to happen. So go to angrysnowboarderstore.com and buy a mystery box. You can use the promo code STREAM3 and save 11%. Lee McGee, backpack speakers for shutting the fuck up and not assuming other people like your music. Earbuds, man. Fucking put your earbuds on. This winter, I was riding Steamboat with the guys from Powder Tool. It's a great snowboard shop. If you're ever in Steamboat, always go to Powder Tool. It's Bernie and the whole crew there will take exceptionally good care of you, and they know their product inside and out. And we got some rando on the chair with us, and backpack speaker. And the best was watching little Colin, who he's like just the smallest dude on earth. Just look over and he's like, "Hey, bro, I don't really like your crispy jams. Can you turn them off?" And the guy's like, "Oh, is that really bothering you?" I just, the kid straight up thought that everyone liked his shit ass whack music. It was like fish had been fucked by dubstep, is what it sounded like. I like shitty ass music. I know it. I do not force anyone to listen to it. No one else should. So yeah. Jeff S. with the super chat. Have you ridden a Rome Powder Division Moontail? Yes. There should be a review in the snowboard review playlist. It should be from 2018. If not, angrysnowboarder.com in the snowboard review section will definitely have a review of that. I know I've ridden one. So let's see. Chris Kubzinski, what were your thoughts on the Signal Sierra series coming back this year? I loved that board from Signal. That was probably the best board in their line at the time. They sent me one. That board just carved so well and had so much power. It reminded me of like riding a Libtech hot knife. You could just set that edge, lock it in, really drive and have power. There was so much snap. There is a review of that snowboard route playlist on this channel. So if you get a chance, swing over and check out my thoughts there if you want to know more. They're bringing it back, so stoked. I think they're bringing it back at least it sounds like that. I don't know. I've got to hit up Mark over at Signal and try to get some of that. Elvin's son, how's John Cena Corn doing these days? He's been on a bender with Randy, and I haven't seen him. Last I saw, they stole my car and drove to Mexico. Let's see. Water bottle. Have you heard anything good about the Happy Time Death Machine board? So that is my friend Dave Tran's company. Dave, back in the day, used to own a brand called Monument Snowboards before he sold it. Dave makes solid boards. They're coming out of a solid factory. It's a very limited run. I think they're only making like 200 boards a year or something. It's kind of a side project because he's a government defense contractor, but he just loves snowboarding, but he knows he'd never make a living. And he's got a wife and 2 young kids he's got to support and stuff. But yes, super happy. Happy Death. It's Super Happy Death Machine is what they are, or Happy Time Death Machine, or Super Happy Death Time, something like that. Super solid boards. Don't sweat it. Those are really good. If you want something that not everyone's going to have, that's one to look at. So, Fizzled asks, where or what type of terrain do you like riding reverse camber boards versus camber boards? I feel I'm moving back to regular camber boards for the stability. So anytime I hurt my knee and I'm coming back after a knee injury, I go to reverse camber because it's an easier board to ride because I don't have to worry about the load and I'll ride it on everything. But in powder, generally, I really love reverse camber, especially in the trees. It's just so much easier to throw the board around and really just manipulate that reverse camber right from the center. Let's see. Brandon Adkins, what's your opinion about Flow? I'm really bummed that they got rid of their board line, and since Nidecker bought them, but for the binding side of things, they make a decent product that's rear entry. I think that they've really perfected it over the last almost, have they been around 20 years now? I'm trying to think. I think they might have hit their 20th anniversary, but they've really perfected the product. It works. It makes sense. I've used them in the past. We got a bunch of reviews coming out for them probably next month. Nothing really bad to say about them. It's not for everyone, but I'd rather see people riding flows than a fucking step on. We're up to 64 concurrent viewers right now, which is solid. I'd like to see it go above 105 if we could. That's what we hit last stream. So let's see what else we got going on. I got a few more questions. Let's see. Corey Chan, heard any news on Anthem Sage Kotzenberg's brand or Black Diamond's foray into doing snowboards? I thought they were trying to launch this season, but nothing seems to have made it to market. Black Diamond actually launched a brand called Cardiff Snowcraft. It's Bjorn Linus is running that right now, but they are funded by Black Diamond. That is why Bjorn is riding for Black Diamond. As far as Anthem goes, I kind of thought when it came out it was going to be a pipe dream, and I still think it is. I think Sage is probably learning how hard it is to run a brand and actually make money. He would be better off just paying Capita to make him blank boards or put an Anthem graphic, build the hype for like 3 years, and then just sell limited release direct to the consumer at like a $700 price point, and he would make way more profits. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Turning Park, you deserve so many more subs. That's what everyone keeps saying, but I'm playing the long game here. I'm not fucking worried about this. Like, don't you guys worry about me. You just keep spreading the word, and we'll get where we need to be. 11 years of being on the internet is like a fucking eternity in any other industry. I know what's going on. It's not anything that really needs to be worried about. Let's get back to some questions here. Ted Stallm, hey, what if I put Union Felker highbacks on Ultras? I've broken 4 of them. I don't know what's the deal with their Lamborghini Carbon. So Carbon's great until you bend or fold it, and it's actually a brittle material. I would say swap them out. If you're breaking highbacks like that, just swap them out. I've never been a fan of full carbon highbacks. I think they just break too easy. So if you can swap them out, definitely do it. Frank 0020 with the $2 super chat. Thanks, bud. Let's see. Elvin Sun, why are times angry snowboarder? Is it happening? Rob and I actually talked about doing a collab. I've got so much on my plate right now. I put it to the back burner because I also was going to do a board collab with Marhar too, and I had talked to Telos about doing a limited run Angry Snowboarder backslash. I've got so much shit on my plate right now. Like, you guys have literally no idea how much work I've got. I'm about 3 weeks behind of where I need to be right now. So hoping I can dig myself out in the rest of this month, because I want to take like 2 weeks off next month from the whole internet and shit. But there will be a board collab or multiple board collabs at some point. Frank 0020, my goggles fog a lot because I wear prescription glasses underneath. You should check out the Smith goggles with the fan in there. Not the ones that came out last year. Try to find an older pair, because the ones that came out last year had issues with the fan motors burning out or something. But those do circulate the air and help with goggle fog. Otherwise, you could always look into prescription goggles. That is a thing now. So let's see. Get some more. Xander Castro, what's your thoughts on LibTech Stump Ape? There's actually a review in the LibTech and Snowboard review playlist. I actually really liked the Stump Ape. It surprised me. I thought I was just going to hate it because it's a medium volume shifted board for Sasquatch people. That's really what it is. And I got on it and I was like, it wasn't as stiff as I thought it was going to be. The tail sunk well in the heavier pow I was on. It floated well. It carved really well. It was an overall just a fun board. Let's see. Matt Heffron, did you get to ride the new Nitro Team Pro bindings? That was one thing that Nitro did not send us this year. I don't think they had options available when we asked. Definitely going to try to hit them up and see if I can get some. Brandon Adkins, ever think about doing a video snowboard review with Snowboard Pro Camp to reach more fans? That was honestly the first snowboard channel I found, and it's cool, although different. I don't think their fan base can handle the blunt force honesty and truthfulness that comes out of my mouth. Like, they're the fucking Disney and Marvel of snowboarding, and I'm definitely like Sony over here, like, stole your Spider-Man. We're going to make a rated R Venom. They're going to say fuck. We're going to kill a couple people, and I don't give a fuck. That's the best analogy I can give about it. They're doing their own thing, blazing their own path. They've done it. Let them just do their thing. So, MM asks, was going to stay more aggressive, but looking for something different now. Super Pig is what I'm looking at. What bindings match well? Burton, Rome, Arbor. When are binding reviews dropping? Binding reviews, I got to do like 30 of them, but hopefully middle of next month, and then if I can wrangle Kevin in, we'll do a live stream together and answer binding questions. If you're looking for like a binding for the Super Pig, everyone makes one. I would put something like either a Vice, a DOD, or a Katana from Rome on the Super Pig. Arbor, probably want the Cypress. The thing with Arbor is I don't know if they fixed any of the issues that they were having last year. Like, there were some screw issues and paint issues, chipping and shit. Burton, Malavita, Cartel, or Genesis Reflex would be those three. If you were to do K2, I would look at like the Lean AT, but you keep the heel block in so it's a little stiffer, or the Formula. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. This one. Oh, Super Matt Bryce. Bit of cash for the car cost. You came up with the Lumberjack. Do you have any other ideas for boards you'd love to work on? I do. There's not a doubt in my mind that I could design a whole line of boards, probably be like 5 to 7 boards. Uh, the biggest one that I really want to do, and I think I might be able to make it happen, is I want to make a price point twin park board, something that comes in at about $330. I want to loosely base it off the old Atomic Hatchet, because when that board came out, I think it had like a $239 price point. They used it as a loss leader for a few years and then bumped the price up to about $299. It's still one of my favorite park boards in that price range. Blew me away with how well it actually rode and how durable it was. So I'd like to base something loosely about that. So. Samuel Zivley, with boards that have a setback stance like the Ride Super Pig or the Nitro Quiver Fusion, can you get by having a bit smaller board even in powder? Someone was telling me something along those lines. Those are volume shifted boards, so the setback really has nothing to do with it. What it is the board isn't as long, but it's short and wide, so it has effectively the exact same surface area as a board that's 10 centimeters longer but narrower. So that's really what they're talking about. I think a lot of people are confused about this whole volume shift thing, and they slowly work around it. They work off like older concepts of how you size a snowboard, and unfortunately there's people out there riding boards that are way too big for them now, that are volume shifted, and they're being sluggish edge to edge and not giving them the performance that they need. Chico Derguch, money for GHB so we can carve you a new spleen out of a fallen fat skier kid. Or is that a kidney thing? Oh, well, you'll find something to spend it on. Thanks for the super chat. There's no coming back from the spleen right now. And my right kidney's kind of fucked up too. I got some organ issues from different injuries and whatnot. So yeah. Well, dude, don't knock Snowboard Pro Camp. They figured out how to run the swindle. Are you riding all year long? I could be. I choose not to. I like having 3 months off. If I wanted to ride every month of the year, I could. I've done it. My record is 39 months in a row touching snow and snowboarding. It's not as hard as people think it is. So, yeah. Let's see. Will Swinson. Avery could be the H.R. Geiger David Cronenberg of snowboard media. I would love to be the David Cronenberg of snowboard media. I love Cronenberg movies. I love Cronenberg. His older shit is so fucking out there and disgusting. I love Cronenberg. And now his son is making movies too. And I guess he's like similar to his dad. I haven't seen anything, but someone was talking about it on something I was watching. Let's see. Let's see. What else we got going on here? I feel like I'm missing something here. Comments. A lot of you guys popping in right now for the first time. We're up to 74 concurrents as well, which is really cool. I think a bunch of you guys are like new. I haven't seen some of your names in the chats before. Just so everyone knows, I do have a photographic memory, so I tend to remember the most mundane, useless shit, and it just drives me mentally fucking insane. But yeah, so I try to remember everything. Churning Park, what are your favorite snowboard goggles? I actually use a lot of Dragon stuff right now. I've been using like the NX, the NX2s, the NXFs. That I was trying out some of the drop goggles. Let's see, what else do I have floating around? Don't have any Oakleys right now. Wouldn't mind going back to them. Bit pricey, but optical quality. I did get my eyes fixed 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in November exactly. I've noticed a lot of impurities in goggles that are like in that mid-range and stuff. I like something that has just like a wider peripheral vision, especially because Colorado's so crowded. I need to know when those dumbasses are coming up behind me because I can't hear them because their backpack speakers are blaring too loud and my brain is having an aneurysm. So, yeah. But basically, anything that's a top tier goggle, I'm pretty much a fan of, like the mainstream brand name ones. There are so many shit goggle companies on Amazon right now that reach out to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, send me a goggle, and I'm just like, I can take it and twist it, and the frame and shit just completely cracks. Yeah, so you got to watch yourself on that. So let's see. Kenji Yamamoto, what's your top run for each of your top 5 resorts you've been to in Summit County, assuming conditions are dusting of snow and grim, not icy? I'm awful with run names. I literally lie to tourists all the time and just make up bullshit names all the time. I can't tell you a fucking run name in all honesty. Like, I can tell you where you need to go to get to them, but I cannot tell you a run, and that's something I don't like doing, is blowing out my runs and my lines. I talked about this after the product reviews dropped the last time we did the 3 live streams in a day, but one of my favorite runs at Breckenridge, I showed like 5 people that I thought weren't going to blow it out, like a really awesome run where you could duck a rope and then duck back in, and it would be untouched POW, and fucking they must have blown that shit out so bad, because the last time that I ever rode Breck on a POW day, there must have been about a fucking 100 people back there. And I mean, those were runs that I did for 10 years where no one was ever there. It was me and like maybe 5 other people, and now they're just completely fucking blown out. So I try not to talk about runs like Copper. I have a lot of favorite lines in Copper, but I can't tell you the names of what runs they're even off of. I can tell you what like geographical landmark you need to look for. I'll be like, yeah, you want to go this way, and when you see the tree that's bent at 90 degrees and then there's the snow gun that looks like it's fucking it, that's where you want to take a hard right. You go in about 100 feet, take a left, point it straight. You're going to ollie over 2 bush gaps, then you're going to see like a smoke shack, and then there's going to be a bunch of stoners, and you're going to hook a hard right. Like, that's how I find shit, you know? So I'm pretty awful about that stuff. Yeah. Let's see what we got going on here. This is a factual statement I just want to share with everyone. It comes from our boy Raul Duke. If you're shopping for Burton missions, save more money. Yes. No, don't buy those. No. Save your money. Buy some cartels. Buy some Malavitas. Buy the last year's set of clutches that are on sale for $139 or whatever it is at the house or Evo or Backcountry. But don't buy missions. And whatever you do, don't buy the Burton custom binding. Ugh, these things are awful. Kevin Soto, would the Union Strata be enough binding for the Orca? Oh, easily. The Orca is not stiff by any means. It's probably just right around a middle of the road flex if I had to rank it, and the Strata would fit on there perfectly. That's totally fine. S2000 guy, what protection do you wear while riding? I wear a helmet. I wear a Giro helmet with the MIPS in it, so that if I do get hit, I won't get as bad of a concussion. That's about it. I do not like wearing any other types of pads or armor. I find that if I just go to the gym and build lots of muscle, I can usually just break a tree if I hit it instead of, break my back, which I may have broken my back like 6 years ago. It was 5 or 6 years ago. I back tacoed a tree at about 40 miles an hour. The tree did not move, and my back, I just wrapped right around it. My back was fucked for like 3 months. Pretty sure there's a compression fracture in there. Corey Chan, if you want to rant on how shit the upper decks park board reviews by Snowboard Mag, That'll be great fun. Kevin and I will actually be talking about that in the next podcast. I've got a copy of the magazine here with it. I've been watching the videos. I mean, let's be honest. It's a pay-to-play scenario. It's marketing propaganda. It's not a review. It's a fucking product preview. That's all it is. It's like, hey, look at this. We took a bunch of former pros and we went to Aspen and we got a private park for ourselves because we wrote it when it was like not open to the public. That's literally it. Like Snowboarder is on its last fucking legs. Their whole new marketing thing is we now have the mid cover. So it's a cover in the middle of the magazine. Who fucking cares? Maybe the rider that's on it, that's cool for them. But for the average consumer, no one cares. Let's see what else we got going on here. Believe McGee, there should be at least 75 likes, guys. I'm not worried about it. These live streams tend to do better on Mondays after I live stream on a weekend. So, Powder Magazine showed up at Red while I was there. Fuck those guys. Dude, anytime there's a ski or snowboard test at any resort, like they used to do them here at Brack, it's fucking painful and it just sucks. And it's a bunch of pretentious pricks. Let's see. I think I'm missing a question here. S2000 guy, isn't the clutch a custom with a diode high back? It's a diode high back. I thought it was a cartel base, but it might be a custom. But I think it's got like more nylon in it or something. Kevin knows more about it. It's one of his favorite bindings. So, yeah. Let's see. Matt Heffron, do you only ride weekdays? Sunday through Friday are my days to ride. Saturday is for Denver, unless it's a powder day. And if it's a powder day, it has to be more than 10 inches to get my ass out of there. Otherwise, I will just drive to Steamboat and get the fuck away from the front rangers that come up here to ride. I find, I mean, I could ride 7 days a week. I've done it. It's not fun. You just damage your body. You know, it's not fun. You need to have days off. I give myself Saturdays. I sleep in till about a whopping 8:30 in the morning. I stretch. I go to the gym. I take a shower. I eat some food. I go to the movie theater. I watch a movie. I hang out. I don't do shit on Saturdays. Saturdays are fucking for me. Like, I try not to even work on the website. So, yeah. Tanner Galambus, what do you think of the Smoking Bigwig as a daily driver? That's actually a really solid board. And that's a good choice. I always feel bad because like Jay and I always kind of just miss getting boards sent to me for review, but the Bigwig is actually a really good board, and they changed the shape on it last year, I believe. And Smoking, like, the thing that I find funny is, like, as Angry has grown and gotten bigger, it's like the quality of Smoking boards have just kept going up as well and gotten better. So, yeah, there's that. Let's see. Am I missing any other questions in here? Board through the pain. Yeah, I'll be in Steamboat February. Love it there. Yeah, no. Steamboat. I lived in Steamboat was the first town I moved to when I moved to Colorado, and it's not a technical mountain by any means. Like, I refer to it as like the retirement community for snowboarders. It's like you go there to ride light blower pow, not deal with crazy lift lines, and just have good conditions. It's a little lower elevation, so it does get more snow. Steamboat's a blast. I love that mountain. Michael Anderson, how often you hitting the gym? What kind of training you doing? How's the diet? The diet could probably be better. I don't know. I don't eat a lot of meat anymore. I eat more vegetables. I don't eat a lot of processed stuff unless I'm working late at the day job. But I try to cook like a lot of stir fries with fresh vegetables, stuff like that. Eat a lot of rice. Eat some eggs every now and then. I go to the gym anywhere between 3 and 5 times a week. And my thing is not about gains. It's about just keeping everything toned and locked in shape. You know, I do a bunch of cardio, a bunch of like low weight, high repetition type shit, lunges, squats, leg lifts, stuff like that. Try to use gravity against me, do planks, things like that. I've got a bunch of set exercises that I do that just kind of tighten up like where my joints are loose and whatnot. So let's see. Dweezy, do you think half pipes will get bigger in the next few years? No, they're going to get smaller. Breckenridge is getting rid of their super pipe this year. The biggest pipe they're going to have is 18 feet, they said. Copper's already got a 14-foot mini pipe. We're going smaller. Mini shred is coming back. Okay, what else we got here? I thought I answered your question, Jose, but this is from Jose Bautista. Which bindings would you recommend? I'm 5'11", 220, size 11.5 boot. I have the Outer Space Living, yes, 420, and GNU Smart Pickle. GNU needs to make a board called the Tickle Pickle, and for women. Just saying, a Tickle Pickle. Make it a powder board, powder twin, with a weird tip shape. But I thought I answered this question for you, but I guess I didn't. For those boards, I'd look at something that's like a middle of the road flex. I mean, for the Outer Space Living, maybe like a Union Force, or you could do like a K2 Formula, maybe a Rome DOD or a Katana on that. You could even get away with the Rome Vice if you wanted to. You could do like the now IPO, maybe the Brigade. If you wanted to go like a little more surfy for your 420, I'd get the Now Times Yes, because that binding has a little more play in the high back in it as well. You could probably, if you want something with like a more rigid base plate, you could go with the Ride Rodeo. You might even like the Nitro Team or the Phantom as well. Okay. David McIntyre. Captain Mercury 1819 or 1920 differences. I feel like the 1920 was a little torsionally softer, and I know that they renamed their fiberglass, but it's essentially the exact same fiberglass. I think it's just a different distributor or supplier. So if you can get a last year's and save the money, I would definitely say go for it. So yeah, and just so anyone knows, tuning in, Transworld is out of business. They got bought by the company that owns the National Enquirer. Yeah, great. I think that they did it to use them as a loss leader on a profit margin statement. So they liquidated Transworld, fired the staff and everything. And then Snowboarder is still trying to concentrate on print, and still trying to sell subscriptions. And I've got the magazine here, and I think it's over half advertisements, and it's sad. Sad. Like you literally are printing more paper for advertisements than content, and their online content is deplorable. Plus, Stan is too busy trying to troll people or have arguments in direct messages on Instagram, because I see that happening all the time. And he's now the editor at large or whatever he is, and it's fucking sad. It's just Snowboarder just needs to die. Like, it's become irrelevant. Ooh, good question from Lucas Sutton. Averin, what's your dream quiver of boards? I think I'm almost there. So I've got my Telos Backslash right here. I've got a Capita simulator there for park that I'm going to keep. I've got a K2 Cool Bean as well. I've got my Endeavor Archetype, and then I think the only thing I need to round it out is the Nitro Dropout. And I think I've kind of hit what I'm looking for. And then I've got my interior plane project, Honolulu's. I got 2 of them. I've got the Bloodline, the Sin Eater collection. So I got my cambered twin like half pipe style boards, and I think that's kind of everything I need. I'm not. Kevin's the one that's the hoarder. Like every time I talk to him, he's like, "I got rid of 3 boards, I bought 10 more," and you're like, "You got rid of 3 to buy 10 more." Like let's let this sink in there, Kevin. Super chat from Jose. Thanks. Just checking. Some people said Malavitas. That's a good one as well. And the Atlas. Nah, I'm not a fan of the Atlas. And I have now bindings, but the toe straps keep slipping off. Pisses me off. Next time I'm in Breckenridge, lunch on me. Take your toe straps from your now bindings. You can flip them with the ones on the other side so that they sit different, and they should lock in, because I think that's what Kevin was doing with them for a while. So, Jason S. just ordered a mystery box. Love the channel, and thanks for all you do. Thanks for buying the mystery box. I hope you guys will be stoked with that. There's going to be a lot of rad stuff in there. I was just cleaning out the storage closet, and I found like merchandise we never sold. I found like old stuff that we haven't had in years. I found there's stuff that's just beyond apparel too that's in there. There was like pint glasses and coffee cups and stuff that I'd made up, and there was sample stuff that never got released. So I think for anyone that buys one of our mystery boxes from angrysnowboarderstore.com, I think you guys are going to be super, super stoked. So, yeah. Buck Choi, real question. For the same amount of money, would you rather do 1 week of summer freestyle camp in Whistler or 2 weeks of boarding in New Zealand? I'd take 2 weeks of boarding in New Zealand, because if I could time it right, and I've got friends down there, I know I can go ride POW. I can ride a park anytime I want. I don't understand the concept of like people that travel to places that get great snow to go ride the fucking park when the park is like mediocre or decent. Like, it's not like mind blowing. Like, you can ride park anytime. Powder's priceless. Like, I will travel to ride POW. Like, I thought it was funny. Like, this year when I traveled out to Utah, everyone was losing their shit because Summit County got like 10 feet of snow in 3 days, but everything was shut down. You couldn't ride. And I was out in Utah, and they got like 3 feet of snow the whole time I was there. And I rode a POW almost every day that I was there. I think the only day I didn't ride actual fresh POW was the last day I was there. And Superfan Alan Russell and I were able to hike out some stuff and still ride POW at Solitude. So, no brainer. I'd rather travel somewhere and go experience a new culture and see what their lifestyle's like and have 2 weeks to explore their mountains than spend 1 week at a freestyle camp with a bunch of kids that are half my age. Shit, parents there would probably think one of the kids was mine. It'd be really creepy and awkward, because the only reason to have children is to harvest their organs and bone marrow to prolong your life. And I haven't had a child to do that yet. So, yeah. Kenneth Warner, I'm a 42-year-old rad dad, like you would say, and I ride a Sushi, and I just got a Mercury. Need bindings for the Mercury. Everything hurts my feet looking at the Flow NX. The flows should alleviate if you're having like instep pressure because of where the strap position is. Flows should relieve that over-the-top pressure. I'd be curious to know if your boots actually have an aftermarket insole, or if they're sized properly, or if you've heat molded the liner, or if you've even tried to build like an instep bridge out of foam. We do have our boot fitting 101 series in our playlists on this channel, so if you haven't checked that out, I would definitely recommend checking that out. That could be a really great thing just to see if it's something else that you might like. Let's see. Brandon Atkins, Will S. wanted me to ask you about a blurred hand in Buckhouse. Yeah, I flipped the bird in a photo, and Buckhouse blurred it out because he's family friendly. Although I love the video of him at Eldora where he pushes a small child over in the lift line. I don't know if he knew him and was playing around, but the photo just looked like he rolled up on this kid and just pushed him. It was pretty funny. I don't know. He's family friendly. I'm not family friendly. I don't give a fuck. I swear. Like a drunken sailor. I'm very real. I'm waiting for YouTube to ban me, and I have to go back to Vimeo. You know, like I don't know what's happening. So yeah. Kevin Soto, have you ever been to Brighton in Utah, right next to Solitude? If so, what do you think? I love Brighton. I love going and riding Brighton. It is a snowboarders mountain full of snowboarders. It's Snowboarders outnumber skiers there. The way the natural terrain is on that mountain, you can hit so many natural like roller gaps, cat track gaps, rock drops, log jibs, and the park is fun. It is a snowboarder's mountain. The problem is like Utah's getting as blown out as Colorado, and you have to go up the canyon early and get there. Like, dude, I've witnessed some serious fuckery last time I was there. Like, I watched a dude straight up ram his car into another car in the parking lot and crease the doors and shit because he didn't know how to drive. And like, we got there, I think we pulled into the parking lot like 8:30 or 8:40 in the morning, and luckily we were able to get like, I'm not an idiot when I park in a parking lot. Like, the parking lot could be full. I will drive to the front, and I guarantee you I'll find a spot. I found a spot like third row, but I mean, I think after our second lap, they were turning people around, telling them to park at the bottom of the canyon and shit. Unfortunately, they just don't have the parking. But Brighton is an absolutely amazing mountain. I think every snowboarder and anyone that thinks they're a snowboarder should go to Utah and ride Brighton at least once in their life. Willis, now that you sold Kevin to superfan Alan Russell, will you be able to lease Kevin back to do the podcast? Alan never paid me, so I still own Kevin. Ty Boss, ever heard of Palma, Utah? Yeah, I have. Ridden there. We're gonna try to do like a little meet and greet with people sometime. I think February out there. I got to talk with Alan some more about that and planning that and whatnot, and figure out some logistics. But I want to do, because he and I are talking about doing a road trip and hitting like a bunch of Idaho resorts together. Palma's fucking super sick. Love that mountain. Completely hidden, underrated gem, but no one should ever go there. D Gyps, who's the best snowboarder ever? The guy that's having the most fun all the time. S2000 guy, how do you decipher if it's the binding or boot causing pain? Generally, you start with the boots because snowboarders tend to buy boots that actually don't fit them properly. So they're too big, so their foot is slopping around in there, and they're cranking the binding down more to compensate for the loose fit of the boot. I know this. I was a boot fitter for 10 years. I fit a lot of ski boots in my day, which is always funny, fitting ski boots. And then the people, like, they talk down about snowboarders, and then I'll be like, after I've done everything, rang them up, take all their money, I'll be like, by the way, I've never skied a day in my life. I'm a fucking snowboarder, and I just fixed your boot problem. Something that you paid hundreds of dollars to skiers for that couldn't fix it. And but that's another topic for another time. But you always start with the boots because it's the closest thing to the foot, and then you work out. Bindings, I mean, very rarely does someone, is it the binding that actually causes the pain? It's usually something in the boot. I'd say it's like 95% the boot, and an issue that can be rectified in there, whether it's fixing the insole, replacing the insole, creating an arch support bridge, locking the heel down more, whatnot. That's why we have the Boot Fitting 101 series. Let's see. I think we're catching up. Fizzled. What screw issues were going on with the Arbor Cypress? I was thinking of getting a pair. So supposedly the screws on the mounting disc were actually just a hair too short and wouldn't lock in. The other thing was the machine screws for like the straps were tightened so much that people were stripping them, trying to loosen them and get out. It was one of those things. I never encountered it. Kevin never encountered it. A bunch of the shops I know that sold them said they never had problems. But I see comments both on the website and YouTube where it's just one of those things that it does happen. Jeremy Drummond, what are your thoughts on the Union Ultras going on my black snowboard of death for power? I think that would be a great setup if you're looking for a lot of power and drive. It'll definitely allow you for power transmission and to really push it the way you want to. So I think that's solid. Jose Bautista, have you ever been to Mount Bachelor? I haven't. I'm hoping to go this year. Hopefully it'll be a day when the Good Ride is there filming, so I can just ride around spraying them all day and calling them kooks, because that's what I like to do. It's like whenever they come to the U.S. or to USSA demo after SIA, they'll be like filming a video and I'll just be in the background being like, "You suck dicks and cocks," and just screaming shit in the background so the microphone picks it up. Yeah. So let's see what else we got going on. You guys have been on for about an hour now. I know we're doing Angry Late Night in about 2 hours. So if anyone's got questions, put them out now over there in the chat box for me. And I'll try to answer them as fast as possible and as appropriately as possible. Otherwise, I'll see you guys at 9. It's going to be Angry Late Night. I'm probably going to have story time with Uncle Averin in that as well. D-Jips between Union or Bent Metal. I tend to like Bent Metal a little bit more. Just things I've noticed with it. I need to get back on a bunch of Unions and really test them out and see. George Kleckner over at Union was supposed to – I hit him up, but I think he's busy. He hasn't hit me back. But he was supposed to get me, like, I think 5 or 7 pairs to test this fall, so I'd really like to do that. Tanner Galambus, favorite mountain in Tahoe. Oh, man, dude, there's so many fucking mountains in there. I'd probably go to Boreal because so many of my friends from Colorado that moved there or that were from Tahoe that moved here and moved back there ride there, and I could go ride with all my homies up there, and it would just be like a skate park day with a whole bunch of friends that I haven't seen in years. So Carl Fisher, bindings for Archetype, looking at now. The nows would be solid on it. I personally, the best that the Archetype has ever ridden for me was I put a set of Rome black labels, super pricey binding. I think it's like $550 retail. That board rode better than it had ever ridden before with those. That binding blew my fucking mind with it. So there. Michael Anderson, I got my first season pass, going to be going to Sunshine Village in Banff. Have you been there? What do you think of it? I haven't been there yet. It's on my Icon Pass, I believe, and I definitely want to get up there. Like, I want to go to Revelstoke and like do the interior British Columbia, hit a few of those, way back to Vancouver, go hit Cypress, Grouse, and Seymour, stop into Wired Snowboards, hang out with Rob Dow, maybe do a meet and greet in his factory, and maybe do a live stream with him or something, and just try to do something like that. But yeah, hopefully that would be something. Fizzled, what traction technology do you think works the best, like Magna Traction or Grip Tech? I find that if it has less serrations, it works better. The new generation of Magna Traction is better. The traction bumps on the niche stuff works really well. The attack arc from Marhar as well is super solid. I like the concept of the various side cut from Never Summer. Unfortunately, I don't like their placement of it with their camber profile. But they put it too far on the inside of the insert packs, and it makes the boards too hooky. Michael Anderson with the super chat. Thanks, bud. Appreciate that. Chad Stalm, does Nidecker change flow boots? I've had 3 pairs so far. Would suck if they did. I think all they did with the boots was say it's Nidecker by Flow on them, and they're still using the same molds, because new boot molds are fucking pricey. Like, we're talking like $100,000 a mold. So I think all they did was change the aesthetics on the outside. Jack Drysdale, what directional board has the most pop and still good in tight trees? There's a lot of them out there. The Mind Expander actually has decent pop off the tail, and it's really good in the trees. Some of the short, fat stuff, like the Sushi, is really good and still has spring, even though you have like next to no tail, so you're just popping from your back foot. The Telos Backslash right here is really good. Let's see what else we got over here. I don't think there's any more boards back there that really stand out. The Orca is good. Let's see. The new Flagship is really solid. I need to re-ride the Berserker, but the last year Berserker was really solid as well from Ride. The K2 Manifest, the Rome Blur. I mean, there's a lot of options out there. If you haven't checked out our review series yet, definitely swing over to the playlist that says snowboard reviews and just click play all. That's going to put you through like 300 and something board reviews, which is the most board reviews for an independent media source on YouTube. And that could definitely just show you some stuff. Anyways, guys, we're getting to the end of this live stream. So thanks again for tuning in. I'll be back at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is about 2 hours and 15 minutes from here. And that should be like the end of the night. That's going to be a long live stream. That'll probably end up being like 3 hours. We'll be talking stories. I'm pretty sure Jesse Dennis will show up in the chat being drunk as shit, paying me money to say weird things in the super chat because that's what he does. It's funny. But if you haven't swung over to Angry Snowboarder store to check out one of the mystery box options, definitely do. We are giving – you can use the code Stream3 if it hasn't been used yet, and that'll save you 11%. I'm going to just answer these last few questions really quick. Elvin Son, sorry to review the Mosquito. Have you had a chance to ride the Nidecker Donut or Gun? I love the snow surf shapes. Rode the Donut 2 years ago, but only for a couple laps, so couldn't. That red tip board right there is actually the 2020 Nidecker Gun. The review is filmed. It's loose timelined on the desktop right here. I've just got to finish editing it, and I'll upload it. That's probably a next week project. Jason Nelson, thanks for the hard work. Ian the Welshman, catch you all later. Yeah, Ian, definitely. Oh, God. All right, this will be the last one, and this one comes in from Lucas Sutton. Averin, can you talk about your personal boot binding combo, and would you recommend a stiff boot and softer binding for other snowboarders? Okay, so I ride the second stiffest boot that K2 makes and the second softest binding that K2 makes, but my bindings are custom. I rip the heel strap, toe strap, and high back off the formula and put it on the Indy chassis that has zero canting in it. They're the older Indies. The reason I do that is I like all my power to come from my ankle, from my boot and everything. It's a different power dynamic than most people are used for, but then I can tweak the binding more without having to sacrifice my ankle popping. Anyways, would I recommend that for other snowboarders? If it's what they're looking for, then yes. The big thing with boot binding combo is a lot of that is personal preference. You got to kind of hit or miss and figure it out. I find for more people with less experience, it's better to just match the boot to the binding to the board. That way it's all like kind of consistent flex. It's when you start like with me, I like a medium flex board. I like a softer flexing binding, and I like a really stiff boot. I like to really drive into my boots. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you guys in about 2 hours, and hopefully then answer some more questions. We'll talk snowboarding. Maybe we can talk about some funny stories. I can tell you about the time my friend pooped himself doing a double cork. It'd be pretty funny.